Hey, what's up, my friends? Thank you so much for stopping by, checking out this channel of mine. On here, I really try to hone in and tap into intuition and get what I refer to as intuitive downloads. And based on that, I make intuitive predictions of events we might see in coming weeks. So a few examples of past intuitive predictions I made that turned out to be accurate here. Put this up on my Twitter. I post a lot of these predictions. I was picking up a natural disaster, possibly tectonic activity occurring in El Salvador in coming weeks. Clarity for that one was high. You can see the timestamp there, put that out July 13th. And then just 5 days after I made that intuitive prediction, this occurred. A strong 6.5 magnitude earthquake in the Pacific Ocean shakes Central America. And you can see there this occurred right off the coast of El Salvador. Again, 5 days after I made that intuitive prediction. I also made a video for that one and all these predictions as well. I'll put the link in the comments so you can check out those videos along with these tweets too. And this was a prediction I made just about 2 weeks ago or so. I was picking up possible higher category hurricane, possibly category 3 to 5, landing in Florida in coming weeks. The specific intuitive download was Hurricane Ivan. You can see the clarity there was medium plus. Again, put that out on the 14th. And then just 2 weeks, or exactly 16 days later, Hurricane Idalia made landfall in Florida as a category 3. This has been all over the news, the Weather Channel, just causing a lot of just chaos down in Florida. So that ended up being a higher category hurricane, specifically was a category 3, which I thought I was picking up on. And that occurred just 2 weeks after I made that prediction. And some people might hear that one and think to themselves, well, the storm may have landed in Florida then, but it's probably forming when you made that prediction. And I wondered that myself, so I actually looked it up. And the Hurricane Idalia, the hurricane itself, it didn't even begin to form till around the 26th of August, so still around 2 weeks after I made that intuitive prediction. And then all the way back in May, I was picking up possible significant hurricane. Again, thought it could possibly be a higher category. Specifically got Hurricane Harvey in Corpus Christi and possibly occurring in Texas. Again, made that prediction May 15th. And then 3 months, near almost exactly 100 days after I made that prediction, not Hurricane Harvey, but what was Hurricane Harold. It ended up being downgraded to a tropical depression. It was a hurricane off the coast and downgraded when it made landfall. But after causing floods in Texas, and specifically flooding parts of Corpus Christi, where I was picking up on that. And that comes, again, 3 months, almost 100 days after I made that intuitive prediction for that one. And then all the way back in February this year, I was picking up Japan, specifically got Niigata, Japan, picking up possible tectonic activity. And then a little over a month later, 40 days later, we saw a 5.0 offshore earthquake occurred northwest of Niigata, Japan. So those are just a few different examples of past intuitive predictions I made that turned out to be accurate, or at least contain some degree of accuracy. Now on to this week, what's on my intuitive radar for events we might see in coming weeks. Okay, so first off, there's about 3 different locations abroad, kind of again on my intuitive radar, for some locations where we might see some type of natural disaster coming weeks or months or so. First one is New Zealand. New Zealand, definitely on my kind of quote-unquote intuitive radar these days. I feel like there could be, again, a possible natural disaster. I feel like I was picking up possibly a wildfire or even flooding, possibly even a type of tsunami or something. Don't really have this exact specifics for this one, but I feel like the clarity might be a little higher for kind of wildfire. Again, it could be any kind of natural disaster. You know, sometimes I like to stretch my intuition, get really high degree of clarity for downloads. If I am tapping into something real for this one, which the clarity is around medium, so it could be a miss, could be accurate. But I feel like I was picking up a fire or wildfire being started specifically by like a solar panel or some type of electrical fire. But I feel like it's like, again, I'm really stretching my intuition here, but like a faulty solar panel, something goes wrong, kind of sparks and starts a kind of brush fire. Now it's possible that may occur, maybe that'll occur elsewhere. I'm still trying to connect the dots for this one, but if we do see a kind of wildfire in New Zealand, it's quite possible it could be something along those lines. And then Jakarta. Jakarta, definitely on my intuitive radar as well. Really hard to pin down for Jakarta because it's in the Pacific Rim of Fire. So they have earthquakes, volcanoes, prone to, tidal waves. So it makes it really difficult to kind of, get a clear, high degree of clarity for the intuitive download or insight for this one. But it's either possible tectonic activity, volcano, or flooding. Say there, being in the Pacific Rim of Fire makes it kind of difficult. Clarity around medium, so again, could be a miss, could be tapping into something real for this one. I feel like another intuitive download I got was fire and water. Fire and water. And now I have, New Zealand and Jakarta on my intuitive radar. So it's possible one of those locations could see significant flooding, some type of tsunami. Another one has kind of wildfire. I'm not really sure. Still kind of honing into that one. But it was interesting. These two locations on my radar. And then I picked up fire and water. So it could be one or the other for New Zealand and Jakarta. And I have in the past, I was picking up on blue volcano, made the intuitive prediction of blue volcano. And then a few months after that, there was a giant volcano erupted. I want to say Mount Semeru, volcano Semeru, specifically in Java, where I was picking up, which is not too far from Jakarta, if my geography is correct on that. So it could be some type of volcanic activity we see, more significant volcanic activity we see in or around the Jakarta area the coming weeks as well. And then Shanghai, China. Now the clarity for this one, the other ones was medium, may or may not be tapping something real. Clarity for this one is high, guys. Clarity for this one is very high. Those past examples I showed you, that earthquake in El Salvador, that was high clarity. This one is just as high clarity. So possible significant event, possibly a natural disaster occurring in Shanghai, China in coming weeks, I'd say weeks/months. Possibly a higher level earthquake. Could be something else as well. The general intuitive download or insight is a possible significant event, and then kind of honing in possibly a natural disaster in Shanghai. But typically when I pick up these locations, in the past it's been kind of an earthquake or tectonic activity. So that's just kind of where my mind goes. Could be some type of severe flooding as well. But the clarity is high. This is one of those ones I almost want to put out an intuitive warning for people in and around the Shanghai area, just the surrounding provinces of Shanghai. Now the only kind of thing that kind of eases my anxiety a little bit for this one, and then just a little bit, is that in the past Shanghai, it's really not in a high tectonic area, not really prone to earthquakes. In the past they've been around 5.0, which isn't nothing, but it could be worse. That's one of the more severe ones, I want to say the last 10, 20 years or so. So if I am tapping something real for this one, hopefully it's not too bad. But just be praying for the people of China, specifically Shanghai, my friends, because clarity is high for this one, possible natural disaster in Shanghai. Okay, so those are 3 different locations abroad, kind of on my intuitive radar for some type of significant event. Jakarta, New Zealand, and Shanghai, China. And then 3 locations here in the States as well. Again, kind of on my intuitive radar, all really involving more natural disasters, which kind of just been the theme this last season or so. Possible natural disaster occurring in Tennessee in coming weeks. Possibly tornado, maybe severe flooding. Again, kind of stretched my intuition, but I thought the clarity is possibly higher for some type of severe flooding. But in general, whether it's a wildfire, tornado, some type of natural disaster occurring in Tennessee on my intuitive radar these days. Again, stretching my intuition, possibly occurring in Nashville. I felt like Nashville is really on my radar for type of significant event or natural disaster. Clarity around medium, so not as high as Shanghai, but just on my radar. And then Nebraska as well, kind of on my radar for a natural disaster, possibly a tornado. Again, stretching my intuition, thought I was possibly picking up Lincoln, Nebraska. Clarity for this one around medium minus, so not quite as high as this one. It's enough I'm putting it out there, but clarity is not overly high for Nebraska at this time. And then Kentucky, got a few different downloads related to Kentucky as well. Kentucky, again, natural disaster, possibly, or a tornado or severe storm. Kind of like the image that came to my mind, the intuitive download, was like workers working on roofs, repairing roofs and damaged homes from a severe storm, possibly even a tornado. I put clarity medium there. I feel like since then the clarity for this one has actually gone up. So between some type of severe natural disaster occurring in Tennessee, Nebraska, and Kentucky, I would say the clarity is probably the highest for Tennessee and Kentucky, and specifically Kentucky. So definitely the clarity a little higher for some type of significant natural disaster occurring in Kentucky, again, coming weeks to months. Okay, so that's everything I've been picking up in terms of natural disasters, both abroad and here in the States. And there's a few different celebrities kind of on my radar as well. I told myself I wasn't going to make intuitive predictions about celebrities anymore. Because if you look at my past tweets and videos making intuitive predictions, they're almost all wrong. I just, the exception being I've picked up on 3 celebrity-involved car wrecks. I didn't know who the celebrity would be. I just knew there'd be a car wreck involving a celebrity. And each time, within a matter of weeks, that ended up occurring. Very, very high-profile celebrities. Beyond that, they're all misses, but I just figured some of these, the clarity is just so high. I figured I'd go ahead and talk about predictions involving celebrities again. So about four or 5 different celebrities on my intuitive radar. The first, Dove Cameron. Now this clarity is actually really high for her. I'll explain that later. I have a specific intuitive prediction about her, so I'll explain that in a bit. Tom Brady, possibly Tom Brady's family, I can explain that as well. And then Patrick Mahomes and Terrell Owens as well. So 2 football players, Patrick Mahomes, Terrell Owens, and then Terrence Howard. So a few different celebrities are on my intuitive radar. Again, just possible significant events. Again, could be, like I was picking up in the past, kind of a car wreck or vehicular incident involving a celebrity. So it could be something along those lines. But I'll go kind of more detail some of these here. So for the first one, I was picking up an incident or accident involving a celebrity, I thought riding a horse. This one was interesting. So I got the mental image of someone named Vivian, as an international student I worked with, and then I picked up on a incident or accident involving a horse, possibly a celebrity. Then I, again, really stretching my intuition here, but that's how you get better with intuitive insight. Philco was picking up Tom Brady. I didn't even know, does Tom Brady ride horses? And so I researched, apparently he does, he's into horse riding. And he goes horse riding with his daughter, whose name is Vivian. And that was the face of the kind of intuitive download I got, was the face of someone I knew who was named Vivian. So, kind of a stressful situation there. I really don't know if that correlates to Tom Brady or his daughter at all. I really don't. How you connect the dots is a big part of honing into intuition and intuitive insight. So, in general, an incident or accident involving a celebrity, possibly riding a horse, Tom Brady, his family, just kind of on my intuitive radar. On the off chance I am tapping into something real for that one, just be praying for them, my friends. Tom, his whole family seem like really genuine people. Hopefully they're safe and okay. And then again, like I was mentioning before, picking up possible incident or accident involving a celebrity car wreck coming weeks. And also feel like it's picking up possible incident involving like a sea-doo, and again, the horse riding. So you can kind of see this similar theme. There's like the same thread of possible, vehicular incident, maybe a sea-doo or a rave runner, or even riding a horse. So some kind of incident, accident involving one of those scenarios. And I had 2 different athletes on my intuitive radar, which I mentioned earlier. Again, really stretching my intuition here, but it felt like I kept getting, a celebrity-involved car wreck, and then in that same day, I felt like I was picking up Patrick Mahomes, and then possibly Terrell Owens as well. So they could be involved in some kind of, vehicular incident or accident. Hopefully nothing too serious. And again, that's if I'm tapping into something real, which I may or may not be. But again, just some more celebrities on my intuitive radar there. And then the highest clarity one, Dove Cameron, really on my intuitive radar for a high degree of clarity. That's really the intuitive download about her, is the one that made me decide, okay, I'll try my hand at a prediction involving celebrity again, even though all the other ones are misses. So just, you guys are going to follow me here. This isn't going to make sense to a lot of people, but if you understand synchronicities or you're intuitive empath, this might make some sense to you. But I was going to a local gas station just to pick up some like Gatorade or something at night, and I was listening to Dove Cameron on the radio. She has some really good songs. I listen to her on my phone, so I'm listening to her while I'm driving there. And then I just randomly decide, just kind of feel almost an intuitive nudge, just to pick up some chocolate. I got some dark chocolate. And the brand of the chocolate was Dove. So I walk out, and I've been doing this long enough with synchronicities, intuitive insight, Like, okay, I have a chocolate named Dove. I'm listening to Dove Cameron on the radio. It's okay. She's kind of on my radar. Not a high degree of clarity, but just okay. I'll write that down. And then later the next day, I'm going for a bike ride. I get a lot of downloads going for a walk and bike riding. And I get two different downloads. I get, this is random, I'll explain this. I get deodorant and the Mona Lisa. That's, a lot of times that's how it works. It doesn't make sense until later. But I get deodorant and Mona Lisa. Later in the day, I go up to Price Chopper. I'm doing some, just a grocery run. And they have this little clearance, this cart with things on clearance. And I'm looking, and they have some deodorant, and it's Dove brand deodorant. And right next to the deodorant is a book called Stealing the Mona Lisa, and has an image of Mona Lisa on the cover right next to the Dove brand deodorant. Okay, I'm not sure how the Mona Lisa connected to it at the time. Okay, Dove Cameron's really on my intuitive radar now. Then I get home that same day. I'm just going through YouTube, doing some editing in my video, planning this video actually. And then I come across a random video, a YouTube short of Dove Cameron singing on a stage wearing a shirt of the Mona Lisa. I was like, okay, I get it. I get the intuitive, the intuitive download synchronicities are literally screaming at me at this point. So Dove Cameron really on my intuitive radar. Now I've been trying to hone in and press in. Okay, what kind of event could involve her in future weeks to months? And the only thing I've ever picked up on celebrities in the past was the celebrity car wreck that was accurate. So I don't know why she's connected to the Mona Lisa. So the Mona Lisa is housed in Paris. So maybe she'll be involved in some kind of incident. I feel like I was getting possibly a motorcycle or scooter incident. So that's been on my radar, but I don't know if it connects to her specifically. So my best guess is really some type of vehicular incident. Why I picked up on the Mona Lisa, maybe there'll be some kind of significant involving her when she's in Paris. Now the Mona Lisa, it's currently in Paris, but it was painted by Da Vinci, who's from Italy. So maybe something, there'll be some significant event, hopefully nothing too negative, when she's in Italy or Paris. I don't know, except that those synchronicities, again, literally screaming at me about Dove Cameron. So, if I am tapping into something real here, if it is some kind of vehicular accident or incident, please be praying for her, my friends. Please be praying for her. Could be something else in terms of the nature of what happens, the incident, but yeah, I'm a big fan of her. She just seems just like a really genuine, authentic human being. So definitely on my intuitive radar. Hopefully she's okay. So if you're watching this, you're a fan of hers, just please be praying for her and just keep her in your prayers. Yeah. And last one. One more I'm going to throw into this video. Kind of put this out right as I'm filming this, so I'll go ahead and include it in this week's. But I was picking up possible news story of a singer delaying their tour or getting surgery for their vocal cords. So possibly delaying a tour due to getting surgery for their vocal cords. Now the intuitive download when it came, it was a memory I had of an interview John Mayer had done before, talking about how he couldn't speak for 3 to 5 days because he had to get surgery for his vocal cords. Now, sometimes the intuitive downloads will come through a memory, but I don't know if that necessarily applies to John Mayer. It could, but I feel like I was also picking up Taylor Swift, and specifically the Eras Tour. Kind of had that download a few days ago on the Eras Tour she's currently on. So I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like it's more likely, if I am typing something real for this, it could apply more to Taylor Swift. Now, it's also possible this intuitive download could apply to Dove Cameron. Maybe that's why I was getting such high degree of clarity for Dove Cameron. So it's possible it could be any of them or another singer. I just think it makes more sense. It seems a bit more logical for this to apply to Taylor Swift because she's currently doing this global tour, the Eras Tour. It would make sense that she's just putting a lot of tension on her vocal cords and would need to delay or take a rest for a while or possibly even get surgery. But it's possible it could be Dove Cameron or any other singer or actress, really. So in general, an intuitive prediction, a possible news story of a singer delaying tour / giving their vocal cords a rest, and possibly due to needing to get surgery for their vocal cords. Alright, my friends, that's all I have for you guys for this week. Again, what's on my intuitive radar and intuitive predictions we might see unfold in the news and around the world in coming weeks. 3 different locations abroad on my intuitive radar: Jakarta, New Zealand, Shanghai, China. Here in the States, Tennessee, Kentucky, Nebraska, as well as a few predictions involving celebrities, possibly a celebrity-involved car wreck. That one involving Taylor Swift there, I threw in at the end. And I know from time to time I tend to pick up on heavy things, so please just keep those locations and those individuals in your prayers, my friends. And if you like this kind of content, intuition, being an empath, and intuitive predictions, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. It helps you find this video if you want to come back and check it out again. But regardless, just thank you, my friends, for listening. Thank you for taking the time to check out this channel of mine. And as always, be safe, my friends. Be safe. And I will see you in the next video.